CNN Student News is your cost-free, commercial-free source for current events. I'm your host, Carl Azus. This January 12th, we're reporting on a march in France that brought out millions of people nationwide. It followed a week of terrorism in the European country. On Friday, in separate standoffs, police killed the two men suspected of murdering 12 people at a satire magazine last week. Also, French police killed another terrorism suspect at a kosher market. He'd murdered 4 hostages before his death. A fourth suspect, a 26-year-old woman, is on the run. Officials believe she intended to go to war-torn Syria. Over the weekend, French police were told to get off social media and carry their weapons with them at all times. Officials say terror sleeper cells, terrorists living in secret in France, had been activated. Still, hundreds of thousands gathered in Paris yesterday, people representing different religions and leaders from all over the world joining in unity against terrorism.
3, 2, 1, 0. And liftoff of the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket with Dragon.
So, Falcon 9 is the rocket. It launched from Cape Canaveral, Florida on Saturday. Dragon is its capsule. It's carrying about 5,000 pounds of stuff to the International Space Station. Things appear to be going well for Dragon. They didn't for its Falcon 9 rocket. SpaceX, a private company, wants to reuse its rockets. That would save millions of dollars rather than having them drop in the ocean as garbage. Unfortunately for Falcon 9, its intended return to a floating landing pad ended in a crash. No one was on it, though.
But we expect everybody to get a fair shot. And in exchange, we do our fair share. That's the basic bargain at the heart of this country. If you work hard, you can get ahead. It shouldn't matter what your last name is or what we look like or what family we were born into or how we worship. What matters is effort and merit. That's the promise of America. And the way we deliver on that is making sure that our education system works on behalf of every person who lives here.
President Obama promoting his new plan to make 2 years of community college free for students. They'd have to go at least part-time, and they'd have to keep a GPA of 2.5 or higher. The White House estimates this would help 9 million students, prepare them for better future jobs, and save them $3,800 a year in tuition if they go full-time. But if students don't have to pay for it, who does? Taxpayers. The White House estimates this would cost $60 billion over the next 10 years, and the president would need Congress's approval to make this happen. Political analysts say a Republican-controlled Congress isn't likely to approve the Democratic president's plan. Still, one thing everyone can agree on, college isn't cheap.
This is Steven. Hi, Steven. Hey. This is Steven's family. Nice, doggy. Life's good. Steven doesn't worry about much. He has big dreams, and like many people, he's decided that a college degree will help them come true. Go get him, Steven. But before he gets that diploma, Steven has to come up with some big bucks. And if Steven's family hasn't put money away, he'll be in for a tough road. If Steven is like millions of other college-bound students, and Steven is, that means he needs to get a loan. Over 10 years, the number of federal student loan borrowers went up 69%. Between 2012 and 2013, $238.5 billion in student aid was doled out. That's nearly the gross domestic product of Greece. Steven and his mates will borrow an average of $26,500. After 4 years and a fancy degree, our friend is wiser, more educated, filled with potential, and loaded with debt. Now Steven has to pay that debt. It will take him 10 years with a monthly payment of $277, and by the end of it, he will have paid $6,700 in interest. And that's not a problem for Steven, as long as Steven doesn't lose his job, start a family, buy a car, have credit cards. Wow. It's no problem as long as life doesn't get in the way. But life does get in the way. It's not always going to be easy, Steven, and while it won't help you pay off your loans, just know you're not alone. Good luck.
Carl Azus, present. Let's see who else is answering our CNN Student News roll call. Hoover Middle School is. The Hawks are in flight over Albuquerque, the most populated city in New Mexico. We're going to bundle up for a stop in Kaukauna, Wisconsin. The high there today is 16, but if anyone can handle it, it's the galloping ghosts of Kaukauna High School. And on the East Coast, you'll find the city of Aiken in South Carolina. It's where the Rams of Schofield Middle School are watching. The U.S. government's jobs report comes out early each month. It looks at numbers from the previous month, and analysts say December was a good one. The nation's unemployment rate dropped 0.2%. It's now at 5.6%. And the U.S. added 252,000 jobs in December. Where are they? All over. Business services, construction, food services, healthcare. Altogether, 2014 was the best year for hiring since 1999, a good sign for the U.S. economy. Many who lost their jobs in the Great Recession are getting them back, but there's a problem. They don't pay as much. Average wages actually dropped 0.2% in December. They went up 1.7% in all of last year. That barely keeps pace with inflation, and that's why many American workers don't feel an improvement. If you were asked on Family Feud to identify the most common New Year's resolutions, and you said lose weight, survey says, ding, it's often number one, always high on Americans' lists. But one thing that makes it difficult to keep that resolution is sugar. It's not just that people love it, it's that many of us don't realize how many foods it's in and how concentrated it is.
What should I eat today? A cheeseburger or a granola bar? Gummy worms or dried fruit? A slice of pizza or some yogurt? Even though some of these sound like healthier choices, they all have something in common: sugar.
Why are diets so difficult?
So one of the reasons why I think diets are so hard to stick to is because in many ways our food environment has been created in a way that we're almost dependent on a lot of these types of foods that are out there, and research is showing that we actually can become addicted to some of them. When we give our laboratory rats these different delicious types of foods to eat, they show changes in the brain that are similar to what you'd see if they were addicted to a drug like nicotine or cocaine or morphine.
What are people exactly addicted to?
We've found that mostly it seems to be foods that are rich in sugars. When our laboratory animals overconsume sugar, they'll show alterations in the pleasure systems. We evolved as a species based off of reinforcement. We wouldn't be here if we didn't find things enjoyable. It's a way to make us repeat behaviors.
So what would you suggest I do in order to get better at this?
I want to show you some different food products that we have and sort of test your knowledge about how much sugar's in them.
Hidden sugars?
Hidden. So what I want you to do is line them up according to the ones that you think have the most sugar to the ones that have the least amount of sugar.
Can I get a little hint as to what they are?
Those are craisins, cacao powder.
All right, so I feel like the most sugar here. I feel like I'm on Wheel of Fortune. Okay, I don't know if I want to try, well, whatever. My taste buds just got jacked. Builder Power Bar, that's got a lot of sugar in it. Sweet cream, and we have mango sting iced tea. What say you, Doc?
Well, let's talk about what you lost on. So this one, the craisins.
It's craisins.
When you take cranberries and you dehydrate it, you also concentrate the naturally occurring sugar into a very small piece of food now. Let's reevaluate your decision about the vitamin water.
It's like going to the fountain, except for it has a little bit of orange flavor to
Well,
it.
it's not the case. There's a lot of added sugar in vitamin water, and actually 100% of the calories come from sugar.
I feel like I ultimately failed at this test.
You didn't fail, because think about how much you learned.
Thanks for teaching me, and thanks for educating me. This has been awesome.
Before we go, science! Reporters try all sorts of things to show how cold it is outside. Tossing boiling water in the air, freezing a pizza. This sums it up simply. In a bubble. Watch it freeze before your very eyes. A CNN reporter mixed corn syrup and dish soap to keep it from popping. The rest, nature took care of. This was shot in Alberta, Canada, where recent temperatures have been between 8 and negative 25 degrees Fahrenheit. It was an nice way to illustrate the cold, to bring things full circle, to show you the sphere of the chill. Though our puns sometimes get a frosty reception, a lot of icy stares, and a brisk brush off from everyone who's just too cool for them. I'm Carl Azus for CNN Student News.